Welcome back, everybody, to Pub Crew, where we have a special guest today. I'm trying to beat out last record, because last record was 11 seconds.
It was 11 seconds,
Yeah,
that's right.
And I think it was like around the same length now, but that's because I needed to talk afterwards.
This was a lot longer. Even I was like, jeez, man.
Yeah, we have a guest today.
Pub Crew, we like to fuck with the acoustics.
Yeah. By the way, it sounds really nice in here.
It does.
Yeah.
And if you haven't noticed by now, because I'm guessing you're wondering, we are now back at location at Craft Rhythm and Brews. I am pointing at the sign, right? I am. Craft Rhythm and Brews, located at 1301 Texas Avenue. Check them out.
Yeah.
And also, this is a double special feature banana bread. We have a special guest with us today. Hannah.
Yes.
Hello.
Local tattoo artist. All around cool person.
What you would call one of the cool cats.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hannah's done a couple work for me. She's done Bad Boy, which I think I've shown on the show. And then this Bad Boy, look at this little courage head. We'll put a picture right here.
You should have sent that to William, because we fucked up the past couple of weeks. Also, side note, he tried that milkshake and fries and he said it tasted like soy sauce.
He did not taste like soy sauce.
He didn't like it at all.
It was not soy sauce.
He didn't like it at all.
That's upsetting.
Who did that?
I'd have to look it up.
But it was a craft brewery that there was a milkshake and fries stout. And
it was like totally Wendy's themed, but it was awesome.
Yeah,
I liked
it was super salty and like a little bit of chocolate.
It was like the equivalent of like if you ever dipped like your fry in a Frosty.
It's not the equivalent.
It was like it.
It's supposed to be. It was like it. But our editor said it tasted like soy sauce.
It wasn't. Damn you, really.
He's gonna cut all of this out because he doesn't want us talking shit about it.
You're part of the show now. You have to own up to your responsibilities, your boy. Like a piece of shit taste buds.
Yeah, damn.
I'm kidding, William. Please don't. You can edit.
Yeah. Cut, like do a smash cut of him saying something like "I am stupid." But anyways, back to why we're here
the guest
today.
at hand here.
Yeah. Back to why we're
Hannah,
here.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's still very fresh. Monolith Tattoo, downtown El Paso, right on the channel. I don't really have a specific kind of style that I kind of just find my way. Trying to find my way. Right now.
Yeah. You also did one of my tattoos, which we'll put up a picture as well.
I was still in my apprenticeship, still learning.
Yeah.
It
came out amazing.
Which is awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
They both came out super good, so you're fucking doing great work.
Thank you. Try my best every day. Try my best.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And of course you can check out all Hannah's stuff on your Instagram, the Book of Faces, right?
It's mostly just Instagram.
Yeah, mainly. Yeah, we'll go ahead and tag those here somewhere.
And put them in the description.
Yeah, down there too.
Because we also do that.
We'll put a nice image right here.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. You have to fucking do it. Anyways, on to other matters here. What are we drinking today?
Oh, I didn't get the name. But we were drinking
It's a blonde.
Yeah, a blonde ale. They used melon hops. Melonberry hops.
Melonberry hop. Yes.
And
yeah, good. Hannah was being good.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name. I just remember you said it was a blonde.
Yeah. I forgot the name.
Hootie hoo. What's the name of the blonde?
Oh man, that's the JC's blonde. It's named after my second oldest son who showed up twice at the house with blonde hair. Yes.
You gotta understand, every beer here has a story and a name too.
That's awesome.
Right, yes.
So that's awesome. But no, we didn't catch the name. I was like, it's a blonde. Shit, what's the name of the blonde?
JC's blonde.
JC's blonde.
Yes.
Alright. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
And remember, as always, you don't have to drink to show the pub crew, but it helps.
Yeah, I do get that like melony berry aftertaste.
Yeah.
Like
I get like I said, like a bitterness at the beginning, and berry, and melon at the melon. Really good.
melon. Okay, we can't do another 10 episodes. Or sorry, another 10 minutes of impersonations.
We're gonna though. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. Anyway, welcome Pub Crew, the impersonation show.
Yeah. Welcome, Hannah. You have to put up with this for like 50 minutes.
If you haven't seen the show, good job.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the show, settle in.
Yeah.
Because it's this for the next shit.
So, I mean, I had a question, which is I ask a lot of tattoo artists, but what's been like your most memorable tattoo? Like, it doesn't have to be what you think is your best work, just one that like sticks out to you. Like,
Whole berries. That one. It was like little blackberries, so I had to go. It was a lot of skills, at least for like my level. It was fun. I enjoyed it all. It was different. It was a different level.
that's awesome.
It's on my pages. The flowers. I wanted to do more berries and blueberries. It was cool. It was totally fine. I wanted, but a lot of little.
Alright. I kind of want some stuff as well. Like more roses and stuff like that.
Floral was fun. I like doing a lot of vine.
Alright. That's mostly the question that I wanted to ask you.
I unfortunately, when I decided on the sleeve and the whole theme, I'm like, and then I already had most of this arm filled. I'm like, well, I've already limited myself in my life, but that's fine. It's just like I see certain styles and certain like tattoos, and I'm like, oh, that'd be dope. I could.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with
Well,
you. Yeah, I'm right now. I started getting tattoos when I was like, when I was 18, I was like, that, I want that. Of course, I had to get it really big, so now I have a bunch of space, and I'm like, oh, I got something a lot cooler. So right now I'm at the level where there's a few that I want to get lasered, at least cooler, because even if I don't hate them, like I've grown out of it.
it was like, at one point, it was like an early decision that you're
Yes.
like, I'm okay.
Yeah, and now I'm like, I could really get something just because it's like it's evolving styles, a lot of different. Just obviously I'm here, so you know, style changes, a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like, that's. And here's the segue. And that's how it relates to when it comes to beer. The two kind of go hand in hand because you could be one thing one year, and you could be like, yeah, this is what I'm really into. And then just over time, you're like, man, I've gone to this now. And you're like, oh, I used to drink this?
Yeah.
I mean, our taste buds change. It's pretty natural.
Exactly. I mean, taste is also abstract because it's like, it's not necessarily one of the senses, it's something that you can see. Which is funny to think of it that way, but I mean, like, it grows, it comes and goes. So you're like, that's how when it comes like appreciating what you have, you're like, oh well, I like this piece, but I could probably change it, or I could add this to it, and now it's gonna look like this, and you're like, oh, well, that's dope.
Yeah, and that's why for me it's very hard to pick tattoos because I have like a cloud of ideas that I want to do.
Yeah.
And then like I wanted to do roses, I wanted to do a pinup, I wanted to do stuff like what's it called, calaveras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the sugar
Do a
skulls.
whole design.
Yeah,
All the things you just said.
Exactly.
And
That could be
you
a
have
design.
you have plenty of space to
I
do
know.
that
I
right
have
now.
plenty of real estate, man. And
Prime real estate.
and that's why like it was hard for me to pick specifically what I want. Like for the longest time, from like 17 to like 25, I was like, I'm gonna get your name tattooed on my butt. Like
I haven't ruled that out yet. I just haven't.
I have
No.
not done one of those yet.
yeah. And then like from like 26 to like 28, I was like, no, that's dumb. Why would I want to do that? And now I'm like, no, yeah, that's really funny. I should do
The
that.
fires have been stoked again, and you're like, hold on, it's not off the table yet.
There's a time when I thought I like grew out of it, and now that I'm like gonna be 30. I'm like, no.
Gone full circle.
Yeah. Like, I'm still a kid at heart. I don't care. If it's funny to me, I think it's funny.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
have some pretty dumb tattoos, but I didn't get a lot of tattoos. 'Cause that would have been even worse.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, what's one that you wanted to get?
My whole back, it's so cheesy when I like say it out loud, but I had a really big obsession with Charlie, so I wanted like half my Betty Page. I had a really big thing with design, so and then we'll merge it together with like a piece. I think about that now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so glad I didn't get that.
Yeah.
It's cool in theory, but no.
Yeah.
It is very unique.
Yeah. I would do the same thing. Like, just ska music on one side of my back, Betty Page on the other, because I think she's amazing.
Yeah. No, I still want to get my pinups in certain things, but I mean, I eventually there's people that get like with other tattoos, like what they. It's always an option. When we get there, I guess.
Right. Really true. I mean, I still have like some areas that I'm like, I kind of want this. Like, I still have a whole other halves of insides of my thighs and calves that I'm like,
Yeah, you have a lot of space.
I could still do that. But like I was saying, there's still so many that I have ideas for them. I don't know what I want now because now I'm very limited in space.
Yeah.
So I have to be strategic at this point. Like, I could possibly get all these things I do want. Now I have to consider where I'm going to put them and how it's going to look.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for the longest time, I wanted like the world tattooed on my back, like just the outline. And then whenever I visited that place, I would fill it in. So, and like now, like it's cool, but I don't travel as much as I want to.
Here you are almost 30, you're like, fuck, that'd be a blank map.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like the whole
What a shitty
southwestern
investment
U.S.
this was.
and Mexico, and that's it. Like, I've never gone.
It just being
Mexico.
Texas going west.
Yeah,
Just a nice little solid line going in. It's like,
yeah,
wasted all this money on this map for what?
exactly.
I haven't unlocked any of the DLC.
But that's
and it's
something
bullshit.
that's something I want to do in the next decade is travel everywhere that I want to travel. I feel like your 30s to 40s age is a good time to go out and like do solo travel and stuff like that.
What a time to start this show.
Yeah. Oh, we can do it remotely.
Oh, what? You could go just travel and drink.
Oh. Oh yeah, you can come along too.
Can I just show up? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. You don't have to drink with the pub crew to be part of them, but it certainly helps, you piece of shit.
Yeah, no, that'd be super fun. I mean, I'm super glad. Like, if we get enough, like,
A following?
yeah, would love to go. And
That sounds like a cult. That sounds like a cult, right?
yeah.
Hey, there you go. Hannah's in.
We talked about it last episode. That's how we rope you in. We're like, we got free drinks.
And it's like, okay, I'll sit down. You're like, that's great.
I'll go to
Not
the
leaving.
seminar.
I need your keys. And this waiver. Put on this cloak. Drink this punch. Beer.
If we get a cloak, I'm definitely joining.
Pub crew cloak.
Yeah.
Tune into our merch store coming soon to you.
Oh, man.
The thing though is that like we want to eventually start getting filled up before I'm a certain age because the older I've gotten, the harder it is to. I used to be able to sit there when I was like 18 and sit. Now I'm like in. First start.
Yeah.
You know, but I like the way it looks, so it kind of overpowers. I guess.
No, I think that's just, that comes with the territory. Is that like, it's just over time, you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
like, I still enjoy it. I'm gonna bitch about it, but I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, there you go.
Spiders.
I think the longest sessions I ever had were on my back when I got it done. That's when I was young. That's when I was like 18, 19. Got my back done. Oh, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Because it was like my back, it was, once it started getting to the middle, that was the worst experience that I was like, forgot who was with me. Someone was with me when I was getting it done, and I was just they're just like, "Come here, you okay?" And I'm like, "Nope, I'm not okay."
The sides of the back tattoo. And I think I was about 18 too, and by the end, I was crying. Like no like shame, I was crying by the end of it because it was awful. But now I'm getting like a whole cover up, which I have like just like the outline done. But that's gonna go from like my neck to like top of my butt, and be a project for sure, for sure.
Like I honestly want to go back and like, not that my back isn't finished. It's just like I have just that piece and big piece, but I want to fill like back to like the background to it and more to fill out the rest of my back. And I've had ideas with it, but at the same time I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go.
They have numbing though. There is a thing. I know there's a lot of people who kind of are against it, but they have not me. Like I've earned my numbing. I don't care what anybody says. Like I've gotten enough. I've dealt with the pain.
Right, what's the amount of hours you need in for it to be justified?
I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah,
A
everybody's
lot of people will
pain.
say like, "Oh, you shouldn't use it ever." But
Who gives a shit?
But I think for me, as like now that I see, like I did a stomach piece and it was my first one, so it was different. I had to deal with her, and then when she finally numbed, like I was able to sit there because she was moving. So it's better for the artist sometimes too, because like I personally would rather somebody be able to sit there and me be able to pull some clean lines instead of them moving a line than me having to go back and fix things not as well. So
That makes sense.
There are a lot of artists. So just because there's so many things that can go wrong with pencil, the way the ink is in, different factors, but I think it also has to do with the type of numbing that you try to ink cream, which I would not like. The one that I would use, and that one is for tattoo. You have to be ordering it.
Right, because you need to be licensed. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if there's anybody that like wants to come and get tattooed, I'm totally for it because like I'm not gonna be.
Yeah.
You have to.
You
have,
are unworthy of this
Exactly.
ink.
Exactly. No. If it makes somebody like feel more comfortable, they're able to sit there more comfortable. There's so many different things that, aside from just like pain, that is somebody want to be able to use. Get tattooed. Who am I to say? You don't have enough time. Do that.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That feels like kind of high-minded of someone to be like, you can't get it, but like,
Hey.
you would know your own pain.
Yeah.
So like, if you want it,
Yeah.
you know what you're getting into.
It's a very old school mentality. I think a lot of kind of older, which I understand to a point, but I think the tattoo world is evolving to where like a lot more people are like are cool with certain things.
Yeah.
Tying it back to beer.
That's
like
right.
you don't want to be a gatekeeper in like the craft community. Just like you don't want to do the same for tattoos. Like you want to welcome people who haven't done it yet.
Exactly, because that's what you're trying to bring in your demographic. You're trying to bring in like people. You're trying to open their eyes to being like, oh yeah, because there's a lot of people who are very afraid of even going into shops because they have this like thought that like, oh, they're gonna like turn me down, or they're gonna be like these crazy, super tough like tattoo artists. And there are some people like that. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, with it evolving, there's a lot of people who are a lot more open, and it's just people shouldn't be as afraid to come and get tattoos as they used to be.
Yeah. I definitely was the type of person that went to one of those tattoo shops when I got my first tattoo. That everybody was like bulldogging.
Yeah, they look at you like, yeah.
Yeah.
You want a skull?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't want a skull. You're gonna get a skull.
Exactly. And the only reason I went was because my girlfriend at the time had gotten her tattoos there, and it came out well. I'm not complaining, but it was definitely one of those parts where I was like, oh, it's just a stigma that tattoo artists have, that you're supposed to be tough and be like you said, no, you can't use any numbing stuff, you have to take it.
That's that stereotype.
Just like with craft brews, everybody sees people as really snobby and me.
I mean, you dubbed yourself the beer snob, so I don't think anyone gave
No,
that title.
I got dubbed the beer snob.
Oh, that's true. But you haven't denied it either.
Well,
So.
no, I'm pretty picky with my beers. I'm not gonna lie.
It's okay to be picky though. There's certain things I'm not gonna just go and tattoo anything on anybody. If there's somebody, I still hold true to certain things if somebody doesn't have, if they're not fully covered or at least covered enough, and they want to get something on their face and
please reconsider your options.
Yes, just because I know there's a lot of things that, like I said, when I was younger, that I'm glad I didn't get for that reason, because you grow out of things, you know? Like, you're younger and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it, you know, who cares? But, you know, as you get older, you realize, and you really do evolve, and you grow. So I still hold true to certain things that I won't do, just because. So it's like, within reason.
Yeah. Like, I always welcome people, especially like my dad. He drinks a lot of just like Budweiser and Bohemia and like just Mexican beers. And like anytime I bring something home, I'm like, just try it. And he does it. Like, he's open to trying out different beers. He doesn't like most of them.
That's what I like about your dad. He's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, but at least
right.
he tried it. Like, he doesn't like ciders. He doesn't like stouts. He doesn't like IPAs. I once got him a blonde that he actually liked, because it tasted a lot like a way better Budweiser.
Yeah.
And like just stuff like that. I got a wit beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually ended up liking it for a little bit, and then he was like, you know what, this is too much for me. Like, the flavors like got in it.
But at least he's open to it. He's like, you know what, we'll fucking try it. It's like, it's not my thing.
Yeah, and at least he knows, instead of saying like, oh, I don't like it, but has never tried it, you know?
Yeah.
He knows that he does something.
Yeah, so I said, if it ever comes up in conversation, be like, I tried it, it wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So, some people just have a very particular palate. But, I mean, as long as you tried it, be like, that's alright.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're gonna talk shit about something, you gotta know what it is.
Exactly.
Yes.
But,
Talk shit about everything.
yeah. Whoa. We have to talk after this, Vic.
We always talk after this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm winning.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, am I better than everyone?
Yeah.
Like that is a TikTok. Because you said it just like that. You're like,
Yeah,
am I?
you did,
So that's what I was
actually.
like.
God damn it. No, but that's great. That's a great opportunity.
Oh man.
No, I just realized I'm like, am I the only one who's finished their first beer?
Oh, that's fine.
I'm not a big beer drinker to begin with, so
No, I just feel like I'm the alcoholic. So anyway. No, I put the pressure on myself.
Yeah,
Please,
it
don't
just-
worry about me. I'm over here.
Yeah.
I'm right. This side of the table.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I'm really enjoying this beer though, because it was
It's
hot
good.
outside, like super hot.
Yeah.
And having like a blonde ale or a lighter beer, just like kind of, is a little bit more refreshing than when you have a stout or IPA.
I feel like that's why I killed it, because like I rushed to get over here.
Yeah.
And I had all the equipment, so I was like, fuck! I want to get there early to set up. Once again, thank you, Hannah. She was actually on time, if not a little early.
Oh,
I pulled
nice.
up right before you. Like I had just pulled up, and then I saw your truck pulled up. So we're
In old pub crew fashion.
Yeah. I got all the red lights on my way here. That's why I was like, oh, I'll be there in 3 minutes, and then I'm just waiting there
Oh yeah.
for a minute. Especially here.
Yeah, that's true. Funny thing is, I had no red lights, but I was like just slightly going over the speed limit, getting here, just blasting Journey. I'm just like, oh, we touched him when I said just, I was Jim carrying it all the way over here.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't have a Ducati, so that's the only difference. Does that reference check out with anybody? Thank you. God.
I got it.
God. Wait, please, I'm not the only one.
Somebody understand.
Someone, probably not Vic, because Vic doesn't watch movies.
We don't watch movies.
It's not that I don't watch movies. I'd much rather do other stuff.
You say that every
See,
time.
that's what Chris used to say. And I have been making him watch classics. Yesterday, I made him watch American Me.
Oh,
I recently made him watch Scarface, like just classics.
I've seen
never seen
Scarface.
Scarface?
I've
No, he's
seen.
never seen Step Brothers. Like,
what the fuck's
I've
wrong with
seen
you,
Step
Chris?
Brothers. I've seen.
I can only say that because you walked into the room.
Yeah, I've seen Scarface. I haven't seen like the end, like the big ending scene, because I wasn't at like my place. I was over at my cousin's place, and they were watching it. I've seen Blood In Blood Out, if that counts.
yeah, no.
I think it's
I mean,
just
it's definitely on the list.
I think it's just as good as Scarface as far as like criminal stories go.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are good. I wasn't saying, oh, it's a waste of time, but why? You'll sit there doing other
Well,
things. Why
I didn't say it was a
Are
waste
you
of
not
time.
entertained?
No, I'd much rather like lay there and listen to an album than like watch a movie. Like I love listening to albums like front to back. I feel like track listing is very important. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna judge you guys for not being able to do that. That's just my
But you
judgment.
could.
I wasn't judging you, I was just surprised.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to watch movies now. It was the 4K disc.
I fucking told you. I fucking let him Sonic the Hedgehog.
Like 4 weeks ago.
No, like,
2 months ago.
yeah, since February. It was like around February, after February. Like, it's been a
If
minute.
it makes you feel better, I've been playing a lot of Tekken and and Fallout 4. So like the other two things that you lent me have gotten used.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now that I remember where my Tekken and Fallout 4 went.
Yeah.
Because like, honestly didn't remember. I just saw blank spaces on the shelf and was like, maybe Cynthia moved into the room. And then you just mentioned it, and I'm thinking about it like, huh.
Yeah.
That is what I haven't seen in a minute.
Yeah. And I've been enjoying those. But I'm definitely gonna watch the Sonic movie.
Oh yeah, that was the issue. The last time we were recording, he's like, "Hey, does it not work? Does the PlayStation not read Blu-ray discs?" I'm like, "Yeah, it does. What do you think I watch my shit on?" Like, what? He's like, "Well, it wasn't. They said you couldn't read the disc." I'm like, "Did you put the Blu-ray disc or the 4K disc?" He's like,
Yeah.
"The Blu-ray disc." Are you sure?
No, I
Are you
wasn't
sure it's not the one that
You
said
could-
4K?
You could tell in my face that I was not sure
He
at
was
all.
not sure.
Yeah.
When I mentioned it, his face went from, "I'm not sure."
Yeah.
Like, look at the one that just says Blu-ray.
So there was 2 CDs in there.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I had the 4K.
Yeah, it was behind all the like papers and stuff.
Yeah, because they package it like that for whatever fucking reason.
So I'm gonna blame big film TV.
Play Blu-ray market
Yeah.
advertising chlamydia for it.
So now that we got into like movies and stuff, like what's your favorite movie?
Oh man. I have so many, but I would probably have to say like definitely like Natural Born Killer.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I love
Yes.
that movie.
What
We're
do you-
understanding what Vic's watched.
Yeah, definitely Natural Born Killer and stuff like that. Buffalo 66.
Oh.
That's a new favorite because I actually watched it sometime last year. I had never heard of it, and it came up. One of my friends had posted it, and Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
But I just discovered that she was 17 in the movie, and Vincent Gallo was 36.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. She was 17 in that movie?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought she had to at least be like 20.
Yeah, I thought she. Oh, I didn't know that either. Holy shit, I just learned something about that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a hot minute since I've seen that movie though, so.
The more you know with Pub Crew. I feel lazy that I did it one-handed. I was just like, whatever.
Good, because that's what it was. It was lazy. Glad you feel that way.
It's half a rainbow. That's fine. I can't see half of those colors anyway, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm red and green colorblind.
It's crazy. I
He
know.
brags about it every show. I've been around.
It's not a brag. I just like to bring it up.
It's surprising to see. Like I know a couple artists who are colorblind, or like rather they see it like slightly, not fully colorblind, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I was very interested. Like how do you even see what colors you're using? Like,
Yeah,
it's just over time to get used to it. And they have the labels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
You
true.
know?
Yeah.
But also they just have different color palettes, which is really cool. So it's cool to see like the different things that they see, opposed to like a classic traditional piece. They'll do it slightly different. Just a different color
Yeah,
palette.
'cause I guess that answers the question. I was gonna say, so how does that work if someone brings in a piece like, I want this, and I don't know what kind of color, because I know there's different types of color blindness. So it's like,
Yes.
I want this hues of red with blue, and they'll be like, they can't see one of those two,
Yes.
and they're just like, got you, fam, and they just come in and they do it, and they're like, oh, looks good. Glad you think so, because I was very cautious if that was blue or not. And I'm glad it was the one you wanted. So I understand there's blue, and
So it
then
works
there's
out.
blue, and then there's blue. So I don't know.
But see, you can also use it in the way of be like, oh, well, your skin's a little different. You know, you have a different tones to your skin. You kind of ease your way around it. I don't have that problem, so I can't really speak, but that's just what I would think.
Yeah.
That's smart.
But that's why I always felt very self-conscious going into like art and stuff. That's why I went into music, because I didn't have to worry about colors.
But see, that's the thing is that you can use it. You don't have to go specifically towards like traditional stuff. It's good to know it, obviously, but like you go off on your own thing, and that's how you create like your own eye for things, your own style and stuff.
That's
So
yeah. I never saw it that way.
This takes me to the Billy Madison etiquette of art, where he was coloring the duck blue, and they looked at him and they're like, "What do you do?" He's like, "Well, you see, I wanted to color the duck blue because I'd never seen a blue duck before, and well, I
Yeah,
saw a
no,
blue duck,
it's
and they're like, you get it. You graduated kindergarten.
Yeah, I always remember those markers that smell like different fruits to get you used to like the different colors, because that's what my like elementary.
Is that why everyone automatically associated grape with purple? Because purple is grape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have some new markers though that obviously they're scented ones, but they have gross scents.
Oh.
So they have like
What's a gross?
like
scent?
onion and
Oh
like,
God, what color?
like
is
you know
onion?
those
Is it
jelly beans?
slightly
Oh
rotten?
yeah, like
Yeah.
the
Oh, like
ramen
every
and all
flavor
that
bean?
stuff.
Yeah, they have. I came across a video of a lady that she was smelling the different scents, and I forgot what exactly one. There was like cheese, and there was some good ones, and there was some bad ones. And I was like, that's awful. That's
Let's say
horrible.
what kind of cheese?
From under cheese.
No.
It's a little fresh. I don't know, man.
No.
Somebody, y'all set up the joke. I had to knock it out the park. That's fine. But like that shows I've seen Waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put some extra Monday cheese.
Going back to like the blue duck, that's super cool. Whenever you get to see something that's like not a traditional colored piece, like a blue tiger. I forget one blue tiger. I think it's cool. I like when I see like tiger heads and different things. It's like neon colors, like a purple tiger with like a pink tongue, or just like the opposite. You know, it's really cool to see the different colors of things and seeing people try different things and not just.
And because usually if they went that way, it has a certain meaning to them. Like, there's probably some significance as to why they wanted a purple tiger.
Possibly.
Blue
Sometimes
tiger.
it's just because they want to.
I'm like, that's gotta be cool.
I just wanted to. Like, I got cheeseburgers. It's like, why? Because I like cheeseburgers. Just
I like
because I wanted them.
Fight me.
And just because you want it, you know.
Is that because you joined the McGang? Wait, how do you feel about McDonald's? Just a random question.
I mean, I like McDonald's. I don't eat it often. Just like how like garbage it is for you, but I like it. It's one of those things that's like it's comfort, you know. Like,
Yeah, that's very true. I ask people because I don't like McDonald's.
Man, I don't like McDonald's either, but I can kill 20-piece nugs
Oh yeah.
if it's so called to
If
my
I
name.
needed to.
If I needed to, and I had like $6,
If I was in a Saw game and
if I had $6, I need something like now just to nourish me. Fucking.
I don't know how much to nourish you. But
Well,
yes.
it's gonna lie to me and at least make me feel good about myself. I mean, at first, and I'm probably gonna feel like shit for the next hour.
Get that rush of dopamine.
Yeah, we're like, oh yeah, and then an hour later, I'm fucking disgusted.
I hate myself.
Who gave me money? Who let me decide my meal for the day? And I look at Cynthia as she's eating nuggets, and I'm like, I think we had a decision here. And no one told each other no. We were both like, yes, yeah, okay. You serious? Yeah? All right, it's done. And then no one wanted to call anyone else out, so we were committed. That's how relationships work.
No, yeah, but definitely, like a lot of the beers here have a story to them. The name has a very funny convention to it,
Yeah.
and it's one of our favorite places to come to, actually.
I like that El Paso is bringing like more things that's like custom to, not just custom, but like local to El Paso instead of just bringing like chains. It's really cool. And it's cool that you said they have names just because, I don't know, it just makes it more personal.
Yeah. We've gone to more than a couple breweries around here, and it's super awesome to be able to put like faces to remember to all of these breweries, because those are like local people that you're helping out. Especially because El Paso is a Budweiser town, you know, like
Yep.
or a Modelo town or whatever.
On the weekends, Dos Equis,
Yeah. And
Sundays, Tecates.
yeah, and that's why it's super cool. I think it's super amazing. And that's why we love coming to all of these places, because I think it's super amazing to see craft brews here when everywhere else it's been a norm. Like you go to Las Cruces, you go to Albuquerque, like anywhere around here, even out in Juarez and stuff like that. Like it's so easy to find like craft beers or artisanal beers that like here there was only like 2-3 breweries for the longest time. Like
Yeah.
Death Beach.
It was Dead Beach and Ode.
Yeah.
And then Ode. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
They're no more.
But luckily now we have like a new like sprout of
Craft breweries.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things in El Paso, which is really cool. Like vegan restaurants too. Like it's so much easier to if you have that diet and just there's so many different places, so many more options instead of just like, oh, I'm gonna get some fries or something.
I've seen stuff pop up for like a lot of diets, like keto and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Like,
There's specific.
All the bigger trends are finally catching on,
Exactly.
yeah.
which is awesome.
It's good that it's more accessible.
Yeah.
Especially somewhere like here, because it's obviously predominantly Mexican. You're gonna get your mom and your tias are gonna be like, oh no, why are you eating that? Like my niece is newly vegan, and my mom is always like trying to. I'm telling her like, don't use that seasoning, don't use this, and she's like, why? It's so hard. Like, why do you have to do that? Why can't you just be vegetarian?
Don't take away the things I love in life.
Yes, and so I'm like, no, you mean if that's what she wants to do, you know, it's just, but it's different to them, you know, to like a older generation. So, but it's cool that it's like just more accessible.
That's true. So, I mean, definitely I'd say in the last, 5 to 6 years it's been growing. Yeah. Not only in the craft brew, but like, I guess life choices when it comes to wanting to do certain things.
Food in general.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, I always feel like El Paso's always been on the last leg of everything.
Yeah.
It still kind of is, but
yeah, and it's finally, it's nice to finally see that catching up. Like, we're finally getting on with some of this shit that's been around. So we're getting up there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Late to the race, but still great. We still got a leg in this race.
It's just a lot of untapped potential, is all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because people like our age are the ones that are starting to do more things. They're the ones that are coming into the businesses, opening places, being like the owners of places, and they're the ones that are bringing stuff up because we saw when we were younger, be like, oh, it'd be cool we had this, or it'd be cool we had that, and now that everybody's older, is retiring, or you know whatever.
I feel that's another thing too. Is El Paso's very like traditional in a stubborn sense. Like, and there's nothing wrong with having your traditions, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I think is the fault of a lot of businesses, restaurants, have you, is they keep to that stubbornness.
They don't evolve.
Yeah, and they want to keep it, which, granted, it's not saying people didn't love it or love what you had, but you should also change just a bit. No one's saying get rid of the shit that you're doing. But you might want to add some more to it. Change it up a little bit. If you have a menu that you've been running for 20 years, and it's like a full menu, but like you gotta understand, maybe not all of it's selling, but like there's your most popular traditional plates. Keep those, but change out the other shit. And throw something new into the mix. Get the newer generation involved into that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, try something new. Like, there's probably people who are even looking for that specifically, for all you fucking know.
Yeah.
And once they find out, oh yeah, this place has it, you're gonna go there. And I think that's what we need to understand. Is like, no one's saying get rid of tradition, but you can adapt. And you can also add to it as well. There's nothing wrong with that. How do you think tradition started?
Chris just found out there was a distillery next door.
We'll see you later, maybe.
But it's the same thing with like tattoos and tattoo shops. A lot of like the older artists, and there's been a couple that I've talked to, and they'll like, I guess kind of not like trash talk on them, but they'll be like, oh well, everyone's just relying on Instagram, everyone's relying on like social media. And it's like, yeah, because that's how people get around, that's how word gets around. And like, I'm not gonna post like, oh, we did it by word of mouth, and it's like, yeah, you can still do that. But if you want to evolve, if you want to cater to like your new demographic, because people are just gonna get like, it's not that people get younger, it's just people grow. You know what I mean? And you have to cater to like bigger things, because you're not gonna cater to those same older people, because a lot of them don't get tattoos anymore. They don't do this anymore. So it's gonna be new people, like younger people who are coming about. And if you want to continue your business and not just burn out, you know, just be a has-been and just do the same old things that people just don't want anymore. You know, you have to evolve. You have to get on social media to a point. And you said you have to still kind of tie in traditions. So it's good to bring in like both of them. I mean, both worlds. And it's good to see that a lot of people are doing that, especially with the younger generation. And then I like to see there's a lot more female artists coming about too, which is really cool. Like, so many good female artists in El Paso. It's crazy to see, kind of little segue, kind of see that I've had a lot of people tell me like, oh, you're the first like girl that's tattooed me. And that's not something I think about until someone tells me, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, you know? Like,
is that weird?
It's not weird, but it's just, I can see it just because it's such a male-dominated like industry. It's good to see so many other women and people coming to me, because if you're gonna go to at the shops that I've worked at, I've always been like the only girl, because I used to be a piercer. So like I've always been like the only girl, and it's mostly guys. And right now I work at a shop with like awesome tattoo artist, and she's a female, and then our apprentice, she's a totally awesome artist. I have other friends who are female artists, female piercers, you know, different things, and it's awesome to see that it's like growing. They bring in a different style of things. You know what I mean? Because women do have a different eye on things of like for example, like faces. if you're gonna get a face, obviously it's not always, but like if you're gonna get a face from like a guy and then you get it from a girl, sometimes you see it a little bit different. And I've had customers tell me that too. They're like, oh, I wanted it like this, but he didn't quite understand how I wanted it, and you got it exactly how I wanted it. You know, because we have a different like cutesy, girlier, you know, it's kind of generalization, but it's not always like that. But it's cool to see that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and you're not gonna always get that perspective from, you know, your run-of-the-mill male tattoo artist, because it's one of those things where if they've been doing it a certain way for years, and that's why they've been going at it for that long. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to figure out if there was a very niche thing you were looking for,
Yeah, exactly.
because they've been doing this particular style for a while, and they've done it many times.
Yeah.
Opposed to someone like who's into it, just getting into it, you still have that like keen eye for detail, and you probably be able to adapt to that a lot easier than someone who's been doing it a certain way for so long.
Yeah, but plus, like, I mean, I've always drawn, like, the cutesy girls. Like, you're gonna see guys, they doodle different things, but, like, girls, we always doodle, like, the eyes and the pretty face and the big lips, like, brat doll kind of looking things. So that's, like, the thing that, like, obviously it's gonna catch our attention more. Like, my mentor, he drew a lot of, like, really cool comic style stuff, but he draws, like, muscular guys, and, like, he would draw, like, super badass, like, girls, too, but it was just different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel with, like, a lot of girls, they have a different eye for certain things. And it's just not, like I said, not always, but it's just a thing that I've noticed, and just like how customers have talked to me about certain things. They're like, oh, I like the way you do this, or I like the way you do that, and you know, it's cool. It's cool to see.
That's good. I mean, and like that's a good thing to know. Like when it goes to actual, I guess, tattoo shopping, like always look at like an artist's like portfolio.
Always.
Like don't just go with like the first person because someone's like, oh, this person's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, you should probably look out that person's work, because just because they're good for that person doesn't mean they're good for you if there was something you wanted.
Yes, exactly. It's always good to do your research. It's always good to like talk to people, just because, like you said, it's like just because they're good doesn't mean that they can do that one thing that you want them to. Just because, you know, it's just they do that one style for a reason. So it doesn't mean they can do all styles. And it's good to do that research and know who you're going with. You know, make sure they're reputable. Make sure they do things that are clean. You know, it's just so many different things. It's always good to do your research.
Yeah, like don't go with the first thing. I mean, I think it goes for shopping generally. Don't go with the first thing that comes at you. Like do your research.
Yeah, it's always good to shop around, and even when people like message me and they're like, "Oh, I want this," and if it doesn't work out, like I always direct them on somebody else. It's like, "Oh, do you want realism? I can't do realism, so let me direct you to somebody who can," because I'm not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, let me do it just to get that money," and I'm not gonna do a good job because I know I'm not gonna do a good job. So it's not about that. It's about like trying to give them a good piece of art. That's exactly because they're the ones who are gonna live with it. They're the ones who are gonna see it every day. You know what I mean? And it's good to avoid those things instead of being like, yeah, I can do that because I can. So I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, I know somebody who can totally help me with that, and then I just send them their links.
It's very true. It's good to see that kind of appreciation in the tattoo industry. Because that's not to say it's always like that, but there is. I've definitely seen it where you can definitely tell when artists are just in it for money.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They don't care. Like they're like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Okay, but can you do this? Whatever. Like I'll just do it. Like yeah, sure, yeah. And then once they start doing it, you're realizing they're not doing what you asked.
Exactly.
And it's looking like shit to you.
And some people won't say anything because they're afraid to say something, and that kind of comes
Because
into
they're already there doing it. You're like,
Exactly.
yo,
yeah.
this is the time for you to say something before you're too deep into the shit.
Exactly, and it's good because that comes in where people are like intimidated by artists because they're afraid to say something because the artist is gonna get mad, and it shouldn't be that way. People should want to be able to get stuff that they want to get. You know, it's good to meet halfway because you do kind of meet some customers who want specifically like something super specific and they want it exactly like that, and sometimes it doesn't always work. So it's good to talk to people and tell them like, well, this is what's gonna work, you know, because people sometimes want like super itty bitty tattoos with a lot of lines, and it's like you have to tell them like, you know, over time the ink is gonna spread, and over time you're gonna lose that definition. And I think with a lot of social media and a lot of you know, just you see a lot of it where people, they really do edit their art, you know, and so it gives them like a misconception of like, oh, that's how my tattoo is gonna look, but like, does it stand the test of time? Because a lot of artists will put up, especially if they're like someone with a really big following, a lot of them will put up just like the healed work, but they don't, I mean not the healed work, they put up the fresh work, but they don't put up the healed work, so you don't know how it's gonna heal. So a lot of people come in with that sense of like, oh, that's exactly how I want it, it's gonna be perfect, but we're not perfect. You know, we have to try our best, and we can get
just to get height.
Exactly.
That's all they want. They want you to go there just for that, and they'll tell you, yeah, they'll do it, and then you're not probably gonna get that.
Exactly. So I always try to like explain to people and try to like let them know, especially because a lot of people it's like, oh, I'm going for my first tattoo. Like I've had people be like, oh, can you do this all in white? And I kind of explain to them like I can, but you're running into a lot of fading. You're running into especially the placement. It depends on like your skin, how you take care of it, how much you're in the sun. So many factors come into play, and there's a lot of people who won't explain that. So I like to explain that because I'm not trying to just get somebody's money. I'm not trying to waste their time, you know, because they're gonna end up coming back, you know, for touch-ups and stuff like that. So I try to avoid people having to do more work for their art that they've already paid for.
Right.
So it's I like to try to explain to them because a lot of them don't.
Got you.
Yeah.
Vic, you seem lost.
No, I'm just listening. I don't have any other questions. That's why I'm just going with the flow with this conversation.
So, with you at Monolith, how was the transition from that from Golden Goose?
Oh, it was super easy. I mean, I like both shops. Golden Goose is a great shop, great artists. I just have a different learning opportunity. It's a little bit different. But I loved Golden Goose. I had no plans of leaving until it came up. You know what I mean? So, I mean, exactly. I try to go where I think I'm going to be able to grow more. You know, same thing with my apprenticeship. Great artist, great shop. I didn't leave any of these places on bad terms. But it's just, I like to do what I think is going to help me grow in the long run. What has helped me going to be a better artist and stuff like that.
That's good.
It's just different demographic, different artists, different things, but not in a bad way, not in the least bit.
Especially you still being young in tattooing.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm still very fresh.
Yeah, still being new into that. Like, that's good to seek opportunity like that because you have the option, you have the opportunity to actually, you know, like you said, grow in different demographics, try out different places because you don't have to stick to one place right now.
No,
That's
exactly.
good. You're gonna want that experience.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause that's what's gonna help you in the long run, especially when it comes to tattooing in general. Like different shops. I mean, I think any other of the bigger artists, if you will, always talk about different shops that they hopped around from and everything. And yeah, that's how you get that experience. How else are you gonna get it? Like you can try and be at one shop for your whole career if you like, but at the same time, I feel like you get more going around.
Yeah, it's just you get different perspectives on things. You get different, like, I have learned something at both shops that I've been at where I learned at Blue Panda, that's where I did my apprenticeship. I finished my apprenticeship, but because of like everything that happened last year kind of pushed me back because I finished my apprenticeship last year. It would have been a full year, but I didn't start full tattooing until December when I started at Golden Goose. And the short time that I was there, like I still learned a lot. You know, stuff that I didn't learn in my apprenticeship and stuff that because I actually had that hands-on experience, being able to like learn and have that freedom to do what I wanted. And so it's better to learn. Like you can still definitely stay at one shop and be a dope ass artist, but it's good to get that different perspective and that different. It's just a different experience. Yeah, totally. And that's the thing I like about this job is that you're able to take it to different places. Like eventually, like that's why I like traveling artists. Like you get to go and you meet different people, but you can take your work with you. And I think that's awesome because it's like people are gonna want tattoos everywhere. People always want tattoos, and you're gonna get different people who want different things in different cities. You know what I mean? So here you have a lot of people who want like certain things, but you go to like a place like obviously California, Colorado, different places. You're gonna want a lot of. It's a different demographic, so you're gonna have different styles that people want.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to go and learn, network, and just meet different artists. It's really cool.
I mean, that definitely makes sense, and that proves true when it comes to that particular occupation.
Yeah.
We have to ask the hard-hitting questions here, Vic.
Oh, knee socks or thigh highs?
Knee socks or thigh highs?
Yeah.
Thigh highs.
You know they're up to the thigh
Yeah.
highs.
That's like 10.
Knee socks or thigh highs?
Knee socks because I'm chocolate.
The higher the sock.
Bring down the bracket.
Yeah.
Fucked it up. Get out.
Yeah, but the higher the sock, the downer the food, so that's your thighs.
Yeah, that's a down fool.
There's a threshold, like once you pass the knee, it's all extra. Like that's just all buffer.
What's wrong with buffer?
You're not more down if you have knee highs.
But
you're
it
not
looks
more
good
down
around the thigh.
As a
But
thigh high, you're not more down.
that's still higher than Knees.
It's like
so
it's
thighs.
like when you rev your car and you get to like 7,000 and then you can still go past that, but you're not doing anything.
But it's great.
Well, I'm talking about
Don't
for
you
guys.
yeah, but thigh highs. How dare you?
Thigh highs for chicks would win over knee highs. But for me, you ask me personally, is
Not that attitude.
because I can't be more down than my knees.
Okay. What we're not talking about.
And at that point, I just wear those Converse that go all the way up.
The pants.
Yo,
Yeah, Converse pants.
the Converse
I used
pants.
to want those in high school.
The fuck are they called?
Converse pants.
They're
They're
specific
called
name.
something.
No, I don't
Yeah, I
care.
have all these things on my laptop.
You got titties on your pants.
Yeah,
Who is that? Looks like Diva, but it doesn't look like
it's
Diva.
not.
Can't see the face.
It's what is it? Is it Danielle from Game Grump? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have titties though.
I do. All over the place.
Yeah.
Specific name.
Speaking of titties, titties are ass.
Oh yeah.
Asking the hard-hitting questions today.
Booty.
Ass.
Okay. Now, what about booty versus thighs?
Oh, that's actually kind of
Yeah, see?
We haven't asked that one.
See?
I wasn't
No,
ready
that's
for
what I'm
this.
saying.
Nick, you
Like,
gotta screen this shit with me before.
no!
But I feel like you have to have a good ratio to thigh, from thigh to butt. So it's like you have to have kind of, well, you don't have to just because so many bodies are different, but like, it's a good balance of the both.
But I think if you have good thighs, you're gonna have good butt. Or
Not
like if you have good
necessarily.
butt, you're gonna have
Yeah,
good
no, that's not true. That's actually not true.
I've never seen
I've been
an
fooled
example.
before.
I've never seen an example of that not being true.
Yeah. And see, like, that's why I asked, because for me, it's tits and thighs. Like,
Over butt?
All of it.
yeah, tits don't shit. And that's just me.
Oh my
That's just
God.
my personal preference.
Put it on a shirt.
Yeah, put that on a shirt.
Tits don't shit.
Oh, you guys put that on shit.
Yeah.
Fucking put it on a shirt.
And
Tits
it's,
don't
just,
shit.
and it's just my personal preference. That's
Wow.
why for me, it's tits and thighs.
Well, I'm not mad at the fact that you said it. I'm just mad that you said it.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're not wrong, but fuck you. At the same time. God damn it. Fucking, I don't know, man. Like, that's still a tough choice between thighs or ass, because, I don't know, you can get crushed by either and be happy.
But you have more force with the thighs.
Depends how high she sits on your phone. We call that a variable.
We call that a way to wrap the show.
Thank you for tuning in on this episode of Pub Crew. Once again, we were on location at Craft Rhythm and Brews, located at 1301 Texas Avenue, El Paso, Texas. Remember to check them out. Come
Yeah.
have yourself a good brew. Tell them Pub Crew sent you.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you, Hannah, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And anything else for folks at home?
Look at my Instagram, Umamimami. We'll link it down wherever you
Down
link
there.
it.
Down,
That's a super fucking clever
This
that's a super clever Instagram handle, I'm not gonna lie.
I like food.
That's good. Oh, you made almond milk. I saw it, right?
Oh, yeah.
on her Instagram. Check that out.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for joining us, guys. We hope you have a great fucking week. We're definitely gonna have a great fucking week, especially being here at Craft Rhythm. So take care. See you next week. Go watch our videos. We
All
love
of
you.
them. There'll probably gonna be a pop-up somewhere around here. Click on that one. We'll take you to the last
Yeah.
one.
We didn't bring the growler, but just make sure you subscribe
Oh, yeah.
because we're giving away a growler.
Put a picture right here. There it is. It's great.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Right.